Hi, y'all. Welcome to the Griffon Show. It is Monday, best day of the work week. It's even better this week, Brandon, because it's only a 3-day work week. At least for me it is. I don't know about you. I don't even know what your schedule is.
It's like Friday come early, Moon.
Come early. I know. Yeah, see, there you go, throwing Friday. And I'm not going to be here Thursday or Friday. If you want to be paid, you better get paid Wednesday.
On Wednesday, so Friday come early. By the way, thought about that, trust me.
Quick program note, and this is one Brandon does know. We'll be at Simmons Sporting Goods tomorrow in conjunction with KMLB. We always started our, quote, career, if you want to call it. We'll be there tomorrow I usually get in there about 7:30, 8 o'clock till 11 o'clock. So if you want to come on out, they'll be having a big deal going on. Of course, Christmas right around the corner, but Thanksgiving is only 3 days away now. So looking forward to that. You got big plans?
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely be in town for Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day. It's a Thanksgiving tradition where we go to my aunt and uncle's in Broussard, and we've been doing it for quite a while. So it'll be really cool.
This is the one time my family allows me to come home. I don't know how thankful they are when I get there, but at least they're thankful before.
Yeah. It'll be kind of interesting for me because it's my first Thanksgiving as a married man, so I'm sure give me a hard time.
Absolutely. If I was there, I wouldn't say a word.
Oh, no, whatever. You would say all the words.
If I was there, who would even know?
Yeah.
I know Brad would appreciate that. All right, folks. A lot to cover today. Told Brian I'm not going to get too excited. 3rd Congressional District, there's some stuff that I think is pretty interesting. It's amazing stuff that I've been saying. It's coming to fact with a new poll out. We'll get to that. Senate race, Bananas Nut. Now, by the way, Bananas said we got man-made global warming, remember? Brandon, there's a group out there saying that we now need to tax food and tax food hard to cut down on man-made global warming. So Foster Campbell wants to tax food. I told you I wasn't going to get excited. He wants to tax food. He said, we got to fix it. Man, we got it. So anyway, we got that. Kennedy way ahead in the polls, but I will tell you again, if people don't go vote, a poll doesn't mean anything if people don't go vote. Early voting will start on Black Friday. This Friday, early voting starts. You can vote Friday, I think Saturday. You can't vote Sunday. And then, of course, all the following week, Brandon. I don't know if it ends Friday or Saturday, whatever. I think it's 6 days.
December the 1st.
Okay. Is when it is. December 1st, well, I think is a Friday, Brian. It's a Thursday or Friday. You look at the calendar, I'm not sure. But I know it starts early voting. So candidates have pretty much made their case because you got Thanksgiving week where people are not going to pay attention. They're going to start voting. They're going to start voting. And they had a poll out. And now I see why Scott Angel ran such negative, nasty, hateful stuff against Clay Higgins. I see why now because of the poll, and they knew it, and they're the only ones running nasty advertising. You ever notice that? There's one candidate in the 3rd Congressional District and a PAC, and all of his buddies, all the Jindal people, have tweeted out just nasty, ugly, filthy stuff. Because let me tell you something. The thing I know is Timmy Teeple. And what he does is he tries to ruin people's lives. Little Teeple, who did the same thing with Neil Reiser. Now, look, Neil Reiser's a great guy. I even heard he might run for treasurer, and Neil would probably make a good treasurer. But if Timmy Teeple runs his campaign, I mean, it's going to be scorched earth. Teeple not only runs the person they run against, he runs his own candidate. And I could have told Scott, don't team up with Timmy Teeple. And what Timmy Teeple's doing to Scott, he's already proved to do this many, many times. He actually, he sent out a tweet the other day saying that because Higgins goes to Washington on his own dime, by the way. He tweets out, it's not fair for him to go on taxpayer dollars. Is he going to pay it back? And he didn't go on taxpayers' dollars. How did he go on taxpayer dollars? But this is what they do. Scorched earth on this child payment stuff, which is ridiculous to consider that the lady, his ex-wife, didn't file charges until after he got her off. And then we know Teeple's tied to Jindal, Scott's tied to Jindal. She worked for Jindal. And then Faircloth is with Jindal. I mean, all the things political, and this is what we don't want. You see, this race is real simple, and I said this. This is Trump Higgins versus Hillary and Angel, and I'll prove my point in a minute. Trump Higgins versus Hillary and Angel. Why I'll say that? Scott's most powerful spots and places he did well is in the same place Hillary Clinton won. Now, here's my question. You know any Republican can do that? No, unless you're not a real Republican. And he's not. And that's the funny thing about the race. I'm just giving you information. You go do what you want, folks. You people go vote. I got one vote. One vote. But I like to tell the truth to even this thing out because the hate coming out of the Angel campaign and the PACs are ridiculous. And people are tired of this. Now, so you say, well, hold up just a second, Griffon. Well, there was a poll done. 50-42 Higgins. With, what was it? What is that? 50-42. It's 8% undecided. Undecideds aren't going to vote. Turnout's going to be low. I told y'all that. It's going to be low. It's worse than that. It's worse than a 50-42 race right at this point. And that's why you see the ugly, nasty, vicious attacks on Clay Higgins. Now, if I've been in politics 30 years and that's the only way I can win, I'd get out of politics. Go do a real job. This is going to backfire. But then again, in an election, you never know what you get. But if they got to be so ugly to win, why don't he run on his merit? Why don't he run on his record? I guess he can't. So what we're going to do is, with Timmy Teeple and Scott and them, it's a burn. We're going to burn everybody down if we can't win. And I think people are sick of that. There was a poster. There was a group. Brandon, you remember the name of the group?
Oh, you're talking about
the poll, the poll.
Trafalgar?
Okay. Say it again.
I think it's Trafalgar.
Trafalgar Group.
Yeah, Trafalgar Group.
Has been noted nationally this election cycle for its battleground state polling and electoral college projection that correctly predicted Donald Trump win in the presidential race. So he did a poll on the Senate in the 3rd Congressional District. Okay, you've heard everything I've said. I've just been honest with you. The firm also polled Louisiana 2 district races, Mike Johnson winning big in that race. And here's what he says. Higgins inherits most of the Trump coalition of voters. Okay, so it's Trump and Higgins. This campaign's very similar to Trump and Hillary. Why? Because Hillary and the press beat the hell out of Donald Trump. What is Angel and the press doing? Beating the heck out of Higgins. I'm telling you, and you look where the votes came from, you can make the case Hillary and Angel on one ticket and Trump and Higgins is on another. It's very easy to make. Look at the numbers. I'm only going by numbers. But anyway, this group comes in here and says that he gets the Trump voters. Angel appears to be consolidating established Republicans. I can name some of them right now. Country club elitists that they know they can buy Scott. That's who's voting for him in the Democrat Party. He could not. Now, name a Republican who can go out and get Hillary Clinton voters. You can't name another one. And it's not because he has the policies that makes everybody happy. It's that's who he is. So you got to decide. You're going to vote with the Democrats and the liberal Democrats, or you're going to get something new. But look what he says. Establishment Republicans and traditional Democrats is Angel's vote. This is a pollster who polled 2,200 likely voters between Monday and Thursday. This is not my numbers. I don't need the numbers to find this out, folks. I've been knowing about this and been telling y'all about this for months. Actually, for years. It's not ironic that he got behind John Bel Air was a liberal Democrat. It's not ironic. It's who he is. Not being ugly. But the politicians don't want to stand up and say, here's who I am. So let's burn down the house. Let's burn the house down. Because if we don't burn the house down and portray this guy as a worthless piece of scumbag, we can't win. We got to get people not to go vote. So we got to burn him down as a worthless piece of scumbag. Same thing Hillary tried to do with Trump. It's the same mechanism. Timmy Teeple's great for doing this stuff. Burn the house down, burn the fields, burn everything. And then you end up hurting a guy who's been a politician for 30 years, but still you end up hurting him too. Now, he'll try to run as a Trump guy, right? He's already doing it. He's a Trump guy. Trump needs... All that's a bunch of bunk. The numbers prove differently than what they're trying to do. Now, this guy comes along. He has no horse in the race. He's telling us the same thing. The same thing that I've been telling y'all, and I didn't even have the numbers. He says, this one will likely be hard fought, but if newly empowered and energized Trump voters turn out, they will deliver the victory for Higgins. That's why we have negative ugly campaigning. That's why and it's only one person running negative and ugly campaign. That's Scott Angel. Scott Angel told us to go look at a website when he was out the race. Everybody keeps talking about the 19% he got in the governor's race. That was big. He only got 29% in the race that everybody knew him. But he got up in that debate and said, go look at this website. This woman's claiming to have his baby. I don't know if it's true or not. And he knew good and well they had already cut the deal. Him and Darden and Edwards had already cut the deal. Go look at a website about a woman claiming to have a baby that the press, News Star, the Advocate, nobody else would touch it because she's been proven to be a liar. Totally proven to be a liar. He wanted you to go look at the website. And now look what he's doing. Now it's doing the same thing. I'm going to burn Vitter down. I'm going to burn Higgins down. So I can win. But shouldn't he be able to run on his record? But he's not running on his record. He's running on, I'm going to burn the dang house down. And it's a shame, but that's what's taking place. And I just wanted y'all to know that because no Republican could win the Democrats he's winning unless you're really a Democrat. And it's Higgins, Trump versus Hillary and Angel. Matter of fact, he's teaming up with Bananas Foster. He's teaming, if you want to vote for Bananas Foster, I mean, you just soon vote for Angel because I'm telling y'all, all this stuff's together, and there's the proof right there. People can get mad at me all they want to. I'm just being honest about the situation, you know? And there's only one. By the way, Brandon, there was a great story right here we may have to get to. 10 reasons. Dang it, I can't find 10 reasons why to eat bananas. I promise you. That's what it said. I'm going to find it, and when I get to it, we'll have it. All right, we got to take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. I'm reading this. What happens to your body when you eat bananas? Reason to eat more bananas. And here's my favorite, and this is about Foster. Gone bananas. By the way, Brandon's in Shreveport, and he sends me a picture of a drink, and the drink's the name of the drink. I don't know.
Banana nut?
Yeah, banana nut drink. I'm not making this. I need to post this probably. It was Rocket Fizz. But the brand, the flavor was banana nut.
I found some other things with bananas in it, but my wife was like, please leave
enough
Moon
is
alone.
enough.
Enough is enough.
I got to put this on there. This is cool, man. Anyway, great to have y'all with us. It's the Hickson Hazard Hotline, 844-766-6607. Hickson Hazard Hotline. Folks, if you disagree or agree with the good-looking host, you're welcome to talk to me about it because the information I just gave you in the 3rd Congressional District, all facts. It's the truth. You got a poster that comes in that was right about the other elections saying if Trump people go out, Higgins wins. And it shows that Scott Angel's base is the Democrat Party. This is what people got. This is why he doesn't have a problem knifing Vitter and going with a Bill Edwards because it is who he is. Not did I say he couldn't win? No. He can win. He's a slick 30-year politician. So they can win. But the fact is, if people go vote, because if we forget to go vote, and it starts Friday, on Black Friday, goes for a week. You could early vote, and I expect most people go early vote and go vote on Election Day. And I think you have most people go vote early, but maybe not. Maybe wrong on that. Then it is what it is. But I'm just telling you, there's only one candidate attacking, and now I know why. And that 8-point spread is bigger than that. I've saw some other internal stuff other people are doing, not Higgins. And they know it. So it may get worse. It may get worse before it gets better. But it depends on what people are following, what they believe in. And a very interesting way. I know people are tired of the old guard politicians, politics as usual, deal cutting, all that stuff that's going on. And I'm just telling you what this poster said. He got it right on the other elections. Now, moving to the Senate race, John Kennedy and the one and only Bananas Foster, that number was really out there. And it's about what I expected people show up. 58 Kennedy, 35 Bananas Foster. Okay? And by the way, finally somebody to come to my rescue because nobody wanted to believe me in the press because they hadn't had a clue. There was a deal put out this week. Brand, I couldn't believe it. It said, looking at John Edwards, Bill Edwards as maybe a potential presidential candidate because he was a Democrat. He won in Louisiana. He never won. He never won that election. If you don't have an Angel, if Angel and Darden would have got behind Vitter, Vitter would be the governor. They took him down. They shouldn't be rewarded. Okay? Finally, the guy comes through and says what needs to be said on that particular race. Okay? Kennedy's strong support in the U.S. Senate race last week demonstrated Louisiana continues to be reliably a Republican state. And as TFG guy said, the Democrats' victory for governor in 2015, that was last year for you people in Balkanville, was a rejection of one candidate and his personal scandal, with most down ballots races all going GOP. And by the way, all were big wins. Very little chance of this seat flipping. Now, there's a chance that people don't go vote. You better go vote. But the point being is, I've been saying this. The Advocate read it wrong. The Gannett papers read it wrong. The WWL read it wrong. The Times-Picayune read it wrong. They're not even close to being right that Bell Edwards won. His agenda, if the Republicans wouldn't give him his tax and spend liberal agenda, he couldn't get that passed either. They're going to give him a brand new road tax, too. There's no way. There's no way that guy beat Vitter. He didn't beat Vitter. Angel and Darden helped beat Vitter. That's what happened in the race. And people need to realize that. And I'm glad somebody else came outside the state to say what I've been saying. You know, Edwards is going to support Campbell. I heard Edwards is trying to back off Campbell now because he's got to work with Trump and all these Republican representatives and senators, and he better be careful getting out there with Bananas Foster. So he's trying to back up, folks. And if he was such popular, if he was really believe he won the race, he ought to go out there and help Bananas win. Should be easy. Just all the people that voted for Bananas, for Edwards, vote for Bananas. That's all you got to do. Just do it. I wonder if Angel's voting for Bananas or John Kennedy. Looking at his record, he's a Bananas fan. All right. If you agree or disagree with your good-looking host, this is what it is. But people got to go vote. If you don't go vote and you're expecting somebody to vote for you, that's when upsets take place. We'll take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. If you got a comment about anything we talked about this morning, it's your opportunity to be a voice. I know it's Thanksgiving week, as we like to call it. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Politics is still reigning, but people are going to take a break from it this week, and then on Friday, people start voting. By the way, the hayride, I'm not a big hayride guy, but when somebody writes a good article, you just give them credit. New poll out, I just went over it. The question is Scott Angel the next Neil Reiser? You know what's in common with Reiser? What's in common with Reiser is Timmy Tebow and the Jindal people running the campaign. Burn down the house. Burn down the house. Anyway, they talk about this. But in the end of the article, the last paragraph, okay, he says, Angel's camp seems to be hanging their hat on the fact there's a good deal of personal dirt on Higgins out there. Is that not pretty bad? That's what I've been telling y'all that. They gotta learn. That's how they operate. So, to say it again, Angel's camp seems to be hanging their hats on the fact there's a good deal of personal dirt. That's American politics. That's Louisiana politics for you. Everything's done on dirt. You've been in politics for 30 years, and the way you win is to burn somebody's house down. I just want people to consider what I'm saying. Not getting excited. Do what you want to do. Go vote if you want to vote. You know, you put Trump in. My question would be, why send somebody in where their best districts is the same precincts that Hillary Clinton won? You can look at it any way you want to. And, of course, the Senate race being a big race, Mike Johnson, I want to wish him the best of luck in the 4th Congressional District as well. I think that it's pretty interesting to see what's happening up there as well. But I just don't think the people up there are going to send a liberal Democrat. I don't understand these people. If you want to be a Democrat, stay a Democrat. If you want to be a Republican, be a Republican. But then once you become a Republican, act like one. Act like one. All right, let's go. Jack in Lafayette. Jack, thanks for holding. How you doing, sir?
Doing fine, Moon. How are you, sir?
I'm hanging in there, Jack. It's a beautiful Monday, man. Finally got some cold weather in here, and I'm enjoying every second of it.
Right in time for Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
Good. What I wanted to point out is, of course, Scott Angel and his group want to burn down the house. They're old Democrats. They're not Republicans. It's the only thing they know how to do.
Well, we saw him burn Vitter down to put in a liberal Democrat as the governor. We saw it. I mean, that really happened.
And exactly. And he's trying to do it again. Clay Higgins was not my guy in the primary, but he's my guy in the general.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you got a lot of that going. You see, I got a tape. I sent it to Brandon. I'll play it. I want to say of the guy that's running against Mike Johnson, a Republican. And he was interviewed saying that the race is not going to go negative. Anybody goes negative, they must be losing. Brandon, I sent a clip to you. I think it's the guy that's running against Mike Johnson.
Yeah, you're talking about Marshall Jones.
Yeah, Marshall Jones was saying right after the deal that the first person that goes negative is losing. It's a little short clip, and I'm going to try to play that, Jack, because it's true.
Well, and I really do believe Angel is losing. He's scared to death because Higgins gets in much later than he does, comes in right behind him, and everybody knows, or he knows, that everybody remembers what he did to Vitter. He's not going to get the conservative vote because he's not a conservative. I don't care what he thinks.
Well, but they run in, like, I'll give you an example. The tax man, Joe Robideau, endorsed him, who's the parish president. Well, Joe Robideau is one of the most liberal tax and spend liberals in Baton Rouge that I've ever seen. And, of course, he became the parish president here. And he endorsed him the other day. Well, that's the political class I'm talking about. They want their guy, the one they can maneuver. And that's the only not conservative. That's the ones getting out there saying they're conservative, but they're not.
Well, right. They saw the trend back several years ago of the state going Republican. So all they did was change their party and put the R at the end of it, thinking that we're going to vote for them just because they're Republican. But that's not the case. If they are a rhino or a liberal, conservatives aren't going to vote for them just because there's an R behind their name. He learned that, or thought he would have learned that, against Vitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was some people think that 19% was impressive. No. The only thing that was unimpressive, not impressive as a race, is how low Senator Vitter got as far as the number of votes. And that's all it was. It was nothing to do with, we thought Scott had no chance in the race. He had no chance when he jumped in. And he cut a deal with Edwards and them the last week when they had a debate, when he started promoting a lie on a Facebook that the press said, no, this lady's, she don't have any credibility at all. They all dished her on the credibility. Scott was promoting a website. Go look at it. I'm not making this up. I'm just telling you information to remember because that's a fact.
Well, between he and, I've already forgotten, Darden. Jay
Darden, yeah.
Again, another Democrat that decided it was better to be Republican but didn't change his politics.
I've been telling people about Jay Darden for 15, 20 years, and I said if he ever got in the big leagues, he'd get his rear end waxed, and he got waxed. So he cut a deal, $237,500 a year. But John Bell Edwards and his retirement's going to be based off that after 3 years. Jay Darden took his money, knifed Vitter, and ran with it.
Yes, he did.
All right, got to run. Appreciate
it. Yep. Thank you, Moon.
Thanks. Appreciate the call. 844-766-6607. Mr. Mike in Rain, Louisiana. Mike, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Mo. All right, Mo. I hear these negative commercials at the end. You can't hardly understand who is sponsoring those commercials. Mm-hmm. Against Mr. Higgins and Mr. Kennedy. And anytime I hear one, I'd like to know who's putting it out,
sure,
whether it's the opponent or what. But do you recall a while back when Mr. Higgins there was some conflict with a Canadian ambulance because he called crooks and thieves animals or something like that?
No, I don't remember that. I'm not saying it wasn't there, but I don't remember that.
Oh, I don't either, but anybody that knows Clay Higgins, if they had seen him in the Battle of the Badges, we got we got some conflict here. I keep hearing Brandon on my end.
Okay, I don't know what Brandon. All right, you good.
But anybody that saw Mr. Higgins in the Battle of the Badges or watched that on YouTube, because that guy, he got more heart in his little finger than his opponent does in his whole body.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had not put
that would have been good. That would have been good when they did Battle of the Badges if Clay Higgins could have fought Scott Angel. That'd be a way to really duke it out. You know, Scott wears him out, we vote for Scott. If Clay wins, we vote for Clay.
Keep it up, man. Thanks.
I appreciate it. But I'm just saying that was a way to settle your deals. By the way, flooding the borders, 1,500 a day now. Obama, last 60 days. Woo, what he's not going to do to us next. Who knows? Keith in Lafayette. Keith, thanks for holding. How you doing, sir?
Well, man, listen, I unfortunately missed the beginning of your program, but John Bell Edwards, look at what typical liberal Democrat he is. He's holding the health care for our state employees hostage. You know, until our Attorney General, Jeff Landry, until he bows down to him on this LGBT contract guaranteeing unqualified workers. If a contract is given for a job, we shouldn't go to the most qualified candidate.
I always thought you get the best people when you hire the most qualified.
Absolutely, positively. You know, and again, typical Democrat liberal movement. You know, these are a whole hostage our state employee health care.
Yeah. Well, once again, he is a liberal, but we try to tell people when they voted for him, but Darden and Angel said, no, we got to vote for a liberal Democrat. See, well, look, it's real simple. Higgins, Trump versus Scott and Hillary. Don't forget old Bananas. He's in that, too. We'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. 844-766-6607. My producer making me choke.
As opposed to me choking you.
Yeah, well, you'd rather watch me choke than somebody else choke me. All right, 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. You know, they wrote a piece, WWL News. It's actually AP reporting. Attacks give way to endorsements in the U.S. Senate race. And, Brandon, this is normal how it works. You know, when Republicans attacked Trump, okay, they made that a big deal all through the campaign. But nobody ever wrote how Obama attacked Hillary when they were running, and they never wrote how Bernie beat the heck out of Hillary. But yet they turned around and endorsed each other. Hillary endorsed Obama, Obama endorsed Hillary, Bernie endorsed. But they do a piece in here, and they start talking about the Senate race. And, of course, Charles Bustani, like I said, he really manned up. And I'm giving credit to him. You know, Charles, that was a tough race. Charles almost got in a runoff. That would have been an interesting race had he gotten a runoff with Kennedy. But he came back and endorsed Kennedy. And unlike Angel and Darden, who did like Bush and Kasich and all these losers, okay, Kasich voted for John McCain. Boy, he showed real leadership in Ohio. Trump wins the state by 9 points. You know, the Bushes said we didn't vote for Trump. I mean, they really showed some toughness, right? So anyway, they write this piece on it. Now, they do mention the fact that Fayard did, after slamming Camo as a David Duker, turn around and endorse him. That's what normal people do, unless you're really liberal Republicans like Darden and Angel and Kasich and John McCain and all these other people. They get in these races, and they know they're tough. If you remember last year, during the governor's race, I mean, Darden and Scott Angel cried like a bunch of stuck pigs. They picked on me. Well, my God. Now, I want you to think about this, Brandon. 3rd Congressional District. And so Vitter, and I think Vitter made the mistake there. I would have left Angel and Darden alone because they never were going to win. They never were going to be close. They never were going to be more than 15 points. It was never going to happen. And I thought Vitter messed up doing that. Okay? But here's Angel cried about Vitter. He picked on me. I just didn't do that. He cried like a baby. So he stuck him. And Darden did too. Let's fast forward to this year. Who is the one ripping a candidate? Angel's ripping Clay Higgins' head off. Scott is ripping his head off. Timmy Tebow, all of his people, they finding and look, the Hayride gets it right. They're looking for, they're hanging their hat on dirt. How can we find dirt? It's the same thing they accused Vitter of. I didn't see Higgins write. Did Higgins write any commercials about the sinkhole yet?
No.
None, huh? It's amazing. But Scott cried like a big baby and tortures Vitter. But we fast forward 1 year, and all of a sudden, what are they doing to Higgins? The same thing that he cried about with Vitter. David Vitter picked on me. I remember people emailing me. Vitter started it. I'm agreeing. Vitter shouldn't even went there. Scott was not a player. Neither was Darden. I told y'all Darden got in the major leagues. He's going to find out that he's a minor league player. He's really a little league player. He went from little league to major leagues. Folks, I'm being honest with you. Watch the commercial. Do you remember the commercials last year? Do you remember them going after Vitter so vicious because Vitter was so ugly to them? What the hell is Angel doing to Higgins? Higgins hadn't hit the man yet. Higgins hadn't said anything about him yet. Y'all heard his YouTube? But you get in the major leagues, you get beat up, you cry like a baby, you hurt the Republican candidate, you put a liberal Democrat in the state of Louisiana. They think the man can run for president now because he won. He didn't win. This post to prove my point. Folks, I'm just being honest with you. I want you to think about it. You sit here not knowing who to vote for, and you go, well, boy, I'm mad at what Vitter did to Angel. Okay, good. What do you think about what Angel's doing to Higgins? That's cool, huh? Yeah, that's all cool for him to do this. But, boy, when he was getting pounded, oh, no, that just wasn't right, Moon. That just wasn't right. Well, I told you, Vitter made a mistake. What has Higgins said about Angel? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I just find it very intriguing. By the way, do you see this? 77% of Americans perceive nation as divided. 77% of Americans, a new high, believe the nation is divided on our most important values, while 21% believe we're united. Now, made the comment when Barack Obama went in, day after. He would be a divide and conqueror, and he was. How come we're not more united? I mean, we elected the first black president. I accepted him as the president for 8 years. I lived under his ruling in Obamacare. Disaster. The borders, 1,500 a day, they flooding across. You know, all Donald Trump has to say, Brandon, by the way, on that is, if you come across here in the last 8 years and you're not legal, just the last 8 years, and you're not legal citizen, you may want to go back. All he has to say, people start going back. They'll start going back. If you have a criminal record and you come across this thing in the last 8 years, you're going back. He ought to make the announcement now, because this president is going to stomp us in the ground for the next 60 days and executive orders and all that stuff. And by the way, they talked about, 77% believe we divided. I believe we divided, Brent. I'm watching it. But I knew who the great divider would be. Just because the press didn't cover it properly don't mean it wasn't on him. Had nothing to do with his race. Nothing to do with his color of his skin. Had everything to do with his policies. Middle class squished down with the poor. This 4.9% unemployment rate is a joke. 95 million people not even in the workforce. 16 million more than when Bush was in office. And he keeps saying he saved the economy $10 trillion more in debt than when Bush left. That's not saving the economy. That's ruining it. Folks, debt will ruin it. It will ruin everything. It's ridiculous we got so much debt. Republicans could have stopped it. Yep, but they didn't. At least the last 6 years. So, perceive the nation that's divided from the President of the United States. I called this. I said he would be the great divider. And there it is. More people believe we divided than ever. And it shouldn't be like that. We have so much more that we could be united on. And yet the President of the United States, who has divided this country with his policies on Obamacare, trust me, from someone who's taken it in the whoop whoop. What you laughing at now? I hope it was a caller.
It's another one of those sound effects I need to start recording, Moon.
Maybe so. The policies on the border, the economy, unemployment, debt, foreign policies. I mean, name what he didn't divide us on. It's phenomenal. But 77%, they're flooding at the border 1,500 a day. Trump needs to send a message. Really, I hope he sends a message. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. The most stressful Thanksgiving, Brandon. Uninvited to dinner. I always thought Thanksgiving was least stress. And you go, well, you ain't doing all the work, and I agree with that. But I always like having people over at the house for Thanksgiving. It's kind of a great time. You see the family. If our house, maybe you ought to come to our house and meet my two brothers if you think I mess with you.
Oh, man.
That'd be the first Thanksgiving you cried. And your wife laughed at you because we would mess with her.
Yeah. You're making it so enticing, Moon.
I know it. I've been wondering when you asked when you can come to Thanksgiving with me. Let's go to Shoe Pick. What's up?
Come on, you made a good point about Obama's just doing more destruction before he gets out of office. Doesn't that remind you of Saddam Hussein when the Allies drove him out of Kuwait and he started setting everything on fire? It's kind of like what Obama's doing, don't you think?
Politically speaking, from a standpoint of policy, yeah, policies and all that. Yes, come on across the border. But they talked about he's going to pardon the dreamers. He can't pardon. How do you pardon illegals and they're not legal citizens? I don't see how you pardon. By the way, I do think he's going to cause some more havoc in the next 60 days. I do think it's coming. But how do you pardon illegals? How do you pardon Hillary Clinton if she's not convicted of anything?
I'd love to send her to Mexico. That'd be good.
Oh, it's no doubt about it. I mean, a matter of fact, if the president and Hillary would go over there, their style of governing would fit Mexico better.
He'd probably be good with Chavez.
Well, Chavez and Fidel Castro, that's the kind of countries they're running. Controlled people. They control everything about them. It's just
okay, you have a good Thanksgiving.
No, I will. Thank you. Brandon's not coming. We're going to have a good one anyway. I can't talk about you if you're not there. Just going to let you know. Although on your side, since I know most of your families, you can talk about me. Just don't let mother-in-law get too upset about me.
Okay, she won't be down for this one.
All right, I'm just checking. All right, folks, quick break. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. Don't go anywhere. The things you can learn off the air are better than what we can teach on the air. No doubt about it. Anyway, thanks for being part of the program, folks. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Anything we've talked about so far. If you got a comment, by the way, if you disagree with the good-looking host, that's okay. You can disagree with me. There are people that disagree with me. That's fine. If you want to be wrong all your life, that's your choice. Oh, Lord, man, if I couldn't laugh at myself, what could I laugh at? Anyway, 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. If you want to be part of the program tomorrow at Simmons Sporting Goods, if you get a chance, come on by. It's great. I've set up right in front, right when you walk in the door. I set up right there. We get to say hi to all our friends, and it's a lot of fun. So if you get a chance, come on out. I got that road trip, and I think I got to go to I may have a couple more with Hickson. Hickson next Wednesday, Brandon, just for the record. That's the 30th. So looking forward to that. All righty. Anyway, Senate race, congressional race, the country divided. That's a shame. I said it would happen under this president. I knew it would happen under this president. It has happened under this president. By the way, for you people waiting, we're not Facebooking today, streaming, but we will get back to that. Rob was here, and he had to go, and so we'll get back to that. We got to get him to help him set it up, but we'll get back to that because that was a lot of fun last week. Had a lot of comments, people watching us on Facebook Live, and hopefully we'll get back to that in the next, probably, I'm going to say Wednesday at the earliest, Brandon. That sound right?
Kind of miss hearing the comments from people.
Yeah, Brandon was loving them. He's over there laughing, especially the ones that hit me with a banana cream pie. Because they had by the way, Texas, Missouri, and Florida, police officers killed in Texas, another wounded in Missouri. For some reason, San Antonio, Texas, they, all of a sudden, Brandon, cops are getting shot everywhere again. Police officers shot in Texas, Missouri, and Florida. And I'm sitting there going, what is the deal with shooting policemen, man? Shoot. Who's the first person to come when there's trouble? Policemen. And so we still have some people out there wanting to shoot police. And I'm just kind of sitting here tripping out on it. All right, Brandon, we've got the tape of Marshall. I think that's his name.
Yes, Marshall Jones.
Marshall Jones. Now, remember I just told you about Scott and attacking and all that stuff. Listen to Marshall Jones. Now, Brandon, I think, does it have it written down when they did this? Let
me help you set it up.
I want you to set it up.
That's the 4th congressional district race between the Democrat Marshall Jones and the Republican Mike Johnson. So what happened was there was a recent newspaper headline that was written, and basically what happened was some comments were made in there, not by Marshall Jones. Now, Marshall Jones accepted the endorsement of the Louisiana Democratic Party, but he is denouncing and not accepting the negative words that were spoken about Mike Johnson. So what happened was party chair and state senator Karen Carter Peterson condemned Mike Johnson, saying, quote, he's made a career of putting hate and bias at the top of his list. Okay?
And by the way, that's Karen Carter Peterson. That's just her. I mean, hate and bias against a guy. Why? Because he's a white Republican, and that's what you do if you're a Democrat. Go ahead.
So Jones said in a text exchange with USA Today Network of Louisiana that he did not ask for a state party's endorsement and has not seen the press release announcing it. And he said, quote, if the Louisiana Democrats say anything negative about my opponent, it's absolutely without my knowledge or concurrence. Mike Johnson is a good man, and I have nothing but positive things to say about Mike. Mike and I both plan to run positive campaigns. And then this is the audio that you were alluding to.
A very civil discussion over the next month and an informed debate and do things a little differently than the presidential race.
This race got a little bit negative at times, and you promised that's not going to be like that, right?
Well, I haven't been a part of any of that, and I know a little about what's going on, and it's all politics, and I can tell by the negative campaigning, if it is negative, I can tell who's ahead and who's behind, and unfortunately, that's people think they have to go negative when they think they're behind.
Now, what great words from a Democrat. So why is Scott going negative? Brandon, I mean, I'm not asking you to comment on it, but I'm just asking a question. Why is he going negative now? Well, that guy just said it. Got to go negative, you're way behind. So that's just proving the point. This came out of a Democrat's mouth. You know, and I'm watching some of the negative stuff like Karen Carter Peterson, and Democrats are the worst at going negative. By far. Now, you wouldn't think that because the press doesn't tell you that. But they're the ones that go leftist, negative, racist, and all that stuff. They accuse the other person of doing that. That's what they do. That's who they are. Scott's doing it. Scott won the Democrat Party areas. Just, you know, you put it together like you want to, folks. I'm just giving you facts. Information that you can use. You know, people got to go vote. The interesting is to see who goes vote. I think in this election, I really believe there's not many undecided in the Senate race. And I don't think there's many undecided in these congressional races. And if they're undecided, it's probably because they're not going to vote. By the way, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Don't forget, Cane River Pecan giveaway starts right now. You can email me, moon@moongriffon.com. Just say, I want to win. Make sure you give me your address because we'll pick another winner. We've been picking one every day. I know I wasn't here Friday. I had such a big list. I was able to reach in and pull one out. Send it off. That people have sent me the nicest letters that have been winning pecans of how great they are from Cane River Pecans. And, of course, JD and them do a super job. You pick companies that are looking for gifts that keep on giving, that they appreciate. They're going to love Cane River Pecans, no doubt about it. They really love them. So, anyway, you get an opportunity to eat some. You need to get some because they're really good. Anyway, Cane River Pecan giveaway. Just say you want to win. Give me an address. We'll put you in a hopper. Got a lot of people in there right now, and you can be part of that. Anyway, the moral of the story, Brandon, unless you read this wrong, was they're going to try to destroy a candidate. That's all they got. And when all you have is to destroy a candidate, and Brandon, let's just be blunt. Sometimes it works. Sometimes I watch
many times it works.
Vitter got beat from being destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay. By the help of Darden and Igel and Bill Edwards, and then people jumped on the bandwagon. Whether you didn't like him or not, that's fine. It's over. He's done. He beat. Whoever voted, you won. You end up making us lose, but you won. You won that little bitty, you got that little bitty win, and I hope you're happy with it. But, sometimes payback is hell. Sometimes it's not. But this is a simple election. You got, Kennedy's running on the right. Higgins is running on the right. And Johnson's running on the right. The other three that are running against them are all coming from the left. So, people go out and vote however they want to vote. Just whatever you're convinced to do, you go ahead and do it. It is what it is. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. By the way, I just had some. Oh, Jeff Sessions looks like, from Republican from Alabama, who's been a really tough conservative. He's tough, Brandon. Looks like he's going to be the next Attorney General. And you already got, as bad as Harry Reid was, this Schumer fell out of New York, Brandon, could be worse. I mean, you talk about a guy filled with hate. I mean, Democrats and these leftists are so hateful, especially when they don't win.
He could. Now, he's also expressed an interest in working together with Donald Trump on issues where they agree. And if that's true, then he could be better than Harry Reid. We'll see. Yeah.
I say we'll see because Sessions would be a great Attorney General. I'm telling you, this guy's tough. We really need somebody tough. We really need somebody that's not bullied by the press, not bullied by the left. Be able to look at their face and laugh at them, basically. You laugh at somebody without laughing at them. Or you call them a SOB without calling them an SOB. That's what you got to have in this position. Well, Donald Brazil, the lady, Democratic National Chairwoman who fed questions from CNN to Hillary, is out there already. She's a hater. She's from Louisiana, by the way. A real hater. They want him to. She's calling for them to reject Senator Jeff Sessions. Folks, Jeff Sessions is not going to lose. Sessions is going to get all the Republican votes he needs. Number two, he's going to get some Democrat votes. Because there are Democrats out there that are going to want to go with Donald Trump. They're going to want to go with Donald Trump because he's president of the United States. So Sessions is going to be the next Attorney General if that's who Trump wants. Unless they find out something that we don't know about, like in a big, big way. He's going to be the next Attorney General. What I'm waiting for, Brandon, is once they name all these cabinet guys, and I would hold my powder on the Supreme Court justice until I'm president. I would, Brandon, just because we know what the left and the press is going to do. If you didn't believe the press was bad, you didn't watch this past election. If you didn't believe the press was biased and didn't give a dang about the truth, you did not watch the last presidential election that we just finished. Because if you watch that, there's no way you can believe they're going to be fair about anybody. So, and I'm not going to give Donald Trump advice, but Brandon, the bottom line is, why even mention the name before you're the president of the United States? Because all they're going to do is beat him up between now and the time you're the president. And first, Obama has to leave first. We'll take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show.
Major Pod, let's listen to talk about Major Pod.
All right, Brandon, there you go. It sounded like she said Cajun Como. I start calling you CC for Cajun Como. That's what she sounded like. All right, 844-766-6607. And Brandon even went. Maddie's hearing. You even made a comment.
It's amazing.
You just talking
to
her regular. Yeah, you talking to her regular. She picks everything up.
I know, man.
I mean, it's been an incredible deal to watch her hearing go 100% out each year. I mean, it really has. And now when we fuss at her, we don't have to fuss as loud. See if he wants to come on with doing that. All right, 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, it's your opportunity to be a voice. It's a great opportunity for you to be the voice. Folks, don't forget Cane River Pecan giveaway. Just email me, moon@moongriffon.com. And all you got to do is register and let me know you want to win and give me an address, because if you win, we want to be able to send out. Let's jump gears. We'll go down to Alexandria. Danny Williams. Big Winterfest coming up. Danny, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, Moon. How's everything going down south?
Man, we hanging in there, but y'all getting ready to have some fun. And by the way, the cold weather gets here just in time for what, quote, the Winterfest.
Well, see, exactly, and I think we may bring. I think it comes with our festival. I think we may have a favor or two that we use around that time. So, and then the bad thing about it, the following Monday is about 85 degrees. So it gets you back in the Louisiana spirit.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Winterfest in Louisiana is, we don't know what weather we're gonna have, but we're celebrating it anyway.
Exactly. And look, I was riding through Alexandria today, and I saw Christmas lights. Everybody's putting Christmas lights up. I said, you know what? people are putting them up because it's cold outside. They just felt like they had to put them up this week, so it's getting earlier and earlier.
Well, it's funny when you start saying Winterfest and people show up in shorts, you kind of go, huh?
But look, it really gets me. It gets me because it's usually camouflage shorts because they just left the duck blind and they come into the festival. So you gotta love winter festivals in Louisiana.
Well, you know what? All the festivals we have, this is a good one. This is a great one. This is a lot of fun for people to come, and I know y'all having a good time. Tell people about it, and let's talk about how people can find out more about it and things.
Absolutely. So, first of all, thank you for having us on. I know a lot of times you guys forget about us up here above I-10, but we like to kind of remind everybody we're still here. So, Alex, the second annual Alex Winterfest. Last year was our first year doing it. As you know, we have some great winter festivals that go on up in North Louisiana. But at the city of Alexandria, the folks and the taxpayers, they wanted something they can call their own. So we decided to give them that last year. We had over 27,000 people that came through on a 3-day, on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the first week in December. One of the things that we normally do, we kind of like to light the tree, the traditional lighting the tree. The mayor comes out, does the welcome, and we lighten the tree. That happens on Thursday, and we have local choirs and local school choirs and local dance group. They'll perform, and then the mayor will light the tree that evening, and then all the attractions will open. We'll have some music. We have a ice skating rink that we had last year. We'll have plenty of different attractions. We have a snow globe. We'll have plenty of food and art vendors. So Alex Winterfest is kind of a celebration of all the great things that Central Louisiana does. Like I said, our biggest attractions are ice skating rink. A lot of folks around here, they don't get a chance to go ice skating, so we want to try to bring the ice skating to them. And that'll be happening Thursday, Friday, Saturday in downtown Alexandria. I wanted to say everything is free. All the attractions are free. You don't have to pay for anything. This is our gift to the folks around.
Now, Danny, I take it you're going to have some food booths. People can pay for that, but you have a lot of food booths.
Look, if we didn't have food booths, people will run us out of town. This is Louisiana. So we will have food. That'll be on Friday and Saturday. I think we got over 20 food vendors ranging from turkey legs to fried corn to gumbo to fried ribs to jambalaya to everything you think of. So I always joke. I say people in Louisiana, they don't have festivals for the festival's sake. They have it just so they can eat food. So that's one thing we definitely going to do is have plenty of food. We'll have art vendors. One of the things we like to do is we like to provide folks who are local and the surrounding areas a chance to kind of show everybody what they've been working on. It can be from holiday pecans or some holiday jams, or whether it's mostly stocking stuff and things where you can sell and kind of give opportunity for people who don't have storefronts, the opportunity to come out and sell in front of big crowds.
Yeah, one of the things y'all could have had this year was a water skiing contest on the Red River. Everybody could have laid out, got some sun, brother.
You know the thing about it, the great thing about Louisiana Festival, like I was talking about earlier, you can go water ski in one side of the festival, and then go ice skate on the other side of the festival, and all still be within the same festival. So that's probably something we got to talk to the Corps engineers. I don't know if they too happy about putting a bunch of citizens in the Red River, but that's something we can keep in mind for next year. But one of the things like India, Louisiana Festival, like we like to do, have food and great music. What we like to do in this festival is like to provide a opportunity for local musicians to really come out and play in front of big crowds. So it's very, very local friendly. We have another big festival in May that we do a lot of big bands, but this festival we like to do a lot of local bands because we have some great music around here. We have some great things to offer. So it's a good time for folks to come out, listen to some great music. We have fireworks on Friday. We'll have a Polar Express train ride that'll go in and around the festival. We'll have plenty of music, plenty of food. We'll have a snow globe. We're going to have face painters, a magician, a fire breather. We're going to have a big ice skating rink. So it's going to be a really, really good weekend to celebrate what we do great here.
Hey, Danny, one other thing I want you to add is if somebody's listening outside your area and they want to come, do you have a website or something? Can people find out about it?
You can go to the cityofalexandriala.com. Okay. There will be an Alex Winterfest page you can click on. You'll have all the information you need as far as lineup scheduling, directions, how you get here. And also, if you need help with hotels, our Alexandria Convention and Visitor Bureau can help you out with that. You can go to their website. They can get you information on some hotels. And if you're coming up, you head to Natchitoches, you can stop in Alexandria for Thursday, Friday, and go to Natchitoches on Saturday and still have a good time.
Danny, you the man. Got it all in, brother. Thank you so much. God bless. Hope you have a big crowd, brother.
Same to you. Thank you.
All right. Danny Williams, of course, City of Alexandria, and then you're having fun this weekend. You've been wanting a Winterfest. Make sure you wear short sleeves and hopefully it'll get cold for them,
Well, it's pretty cold this morning, though.
It was nice and cold this morning. All right, quick break. David and Lafayette, you're up next. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Oh, Bananas is back in the business. How y'all all? Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Bananas is upset, folks. Bananas Foster. John Kennedy plans to skip 2 Senate debates. Foster camel. Kennedy is chicken. Folks, there's the Baton Rouge Press Club, Louisiana Public Broadcasting, Council for Better Louisiana, wanted to have a TV debate. Kennedy's opted to skip them. Why would Kennedy debate somebody that believes man-made global warming is real, which is a hoax? Trump's right. And why would he debate a guy who has nothing but to lose but to throw grenades? Why would you debate him? Why would you debate Campbell? Nobody watches these debates, folks. I mean, the numbers are zero. They're zero. And it's not going to determine the outcome. The only thing that's going to determine any outcome is going to be who goes to the polls. So Bananas sends out one of these letters that he normally sends out, which he sends out about one every 13 seconds. About 3 seconds short of Jindal's 10-second sent out press releases. It's just watching, and I'm watching and looking and laughing. Mr. Kimmel will attend the event without Kennedy on November 28th at the Press Club's regular meeting.
This one's kind of funny. He's tying him to Vitter, and he's got a YouTube video from 2008, April of 2008, of Vitter saying that, quote, I'll fundraise for Kennedy.
What's wrong with that?
From 2008.
He's trying to go get Vitter's done. He's gone. I mean, why don't you just tie with, where's his ties with Governor Bell Edwards, who won the big race? Remember? I thought he was going to get Campbell over the top. No, because never mind. He did not win that election. People voted against. I know so many people that, I hate to say that, they voted against Vitter because they didn't like him, because they believed all the bull that put him there. Friends of mine, lawyers. It's their choice. I don't fuss at people how they vote. You vote how you want, and we suffer the consequences later. But anyway, I wouldn't. Why would you debate Bananas Foster? If you debate the Bananas Foster, who's going to change their vote to banana? Nobody. First of all, nobody's going to watch this. They want to do one of them November 28th. I mean, the election's what, 8-10 days, 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks later. They want to do it on like a Monday. Nobody's watching it, folks. Debates are gone by the wayside. Debates have gone by the wayside. They're over, they're done. Me, if I was giving advice, I wouldn't debate. For what? Let's go to David in Lafayette. David, thanks for being patient. How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I got a question for you.
Okay.
You think Hillary's going to show up dressed as a turkey this week looking for a pardon?
You know what? Might be a best shot. David, my question is, and as I've been reading this stuff, how can Obama pardon her for something she's not even been tried and convicted for?
Well,
it's just like he's talking about pardoned dreamers. How can they be pardoned from what? They hadn't been arrested. You know what I'm saying? And plus, they're not even citizens. How do you pardon somebody that's a non-citizen? I'm not saying you can't. I'm just wondering how that works.
Well, if she accepts it, she's basically admitting guilt, which could be a problem for her. But she seems to avoided problems in the past, except the election, which I've always heard them call this the shocking election of Donald Trump, and I'm thinking, what part of we are fed up do they not understand?
Mm-hmm. By the way, I'm reading now, they're talking about new concerns about some in the media refusing to normalize President-elect Trump. I mean, it's just eating their lunch. It's eating their lunch. It's driving them crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of amusing to watch that.
Why don't somebody go to the press and bring some puppy dogs and kitty cats? Let them pet, let them, bring some stuff, bring them some balloons, maybe some bananas to eat, and let them cool and chill out.
Yeah, well, they might want to eat some bananas just to kind of help things along.
Oh, yeah. Somebody's going to slip on a banana peel and hurt themselves, and here we go again. Anyway, appreciate the call, brother. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Nathan in Lake Charles. How you doing, Mr. Nathan?
Yes, sir. Moon. So good to speak with you.
Yes, sir.
and the big controversy between the governor and the attorney general over the LGBT contracts.
Mm-hmm.
What's your stand on that? What do you recommend?
I think Jeff Landry's doing what's right. And I think the courts are ruling in his favor. I don't think Jeff's hurting anybody. He's doing his job, and Edwards is not. So the courts rule in favor of Edwards, and we have to live with it. But I think Jeff's going by the law. They don't like Jeff because Jeff's willing to challenge. We've never had an attorney general willing to challenge anything that goes on from the governor, Republican or Democrat.
And the governor wants to be declared the chief legislative officer of the state.
Yep.
Not legislative, but constitutional officer of the state.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's going to be a hearing on that on the 29th. I don't know before whom, but I would like to see all of our conservative legislators get on the ball, call in with support for Landry on this, and calling on the governor to call the dogs off.
Well, the governor knows he's basically going to be a one-termer unless a miracle happens for him. He's pushing every tax known to mankind. And and he knows that Jeff might be the guy running against him.
Exactly.
This is what I'm not saying Jeff is. I've never heard from Landry talk about the governorship at all. I hear other people talking about it. So it'd be interesting to see what happens on that. I mean, the governor's race is 3 years away, but when you really think of it, it's about 2 years away.
Wasn't Jeff in the House in Washington, D.C. for
it was in
term?
Congress for, what was it, one term, right, Brandon? I don't think he was ever, but 2 years?
Talking about Jeff Landry?
Yeah,
I believe it was one.
Term.
Yeah, one term because they did the redistricting.
Yeah.
I listened, and he was pretty feisty. He stood up. He had no problem talking up for what he believed in.
No argument here, but we'll see. The governor's race to me is a long way away. It is what it is. I mean, what's going to happen is going to happen. But boy, that's so far away. To me, they're so far away. I know it's not. They all position themselves, but still.
But the big thing is the governor pushing this LGBT stuff, which is only going to add to the cost of government. It's going to exclude people who don't go along with him.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the worst things he's undertaken, and since he's been governor.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate the call. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Mike in Shreveport. How you doing, Mike?
Good morning, Moon. I'm doing well, enjoying this cool weather. Maybe it'll get some Democrats' hands out of my pocket and put them in their own pocket.
Yep.
But anyway, you would have been proud. You'd have been proud of Elliot Stonecipher today. He called Kill Radio and unloaded on them.
Why is that?
Telling them about how biased they are and calling out old Cedric Glover. And he essentially called him what he is, a crook, and asking why Kill Radio doesn't, investigate him. Why do they give him so much airtime? So it's really refreshing to hear somebody get on and chew the news media's butts out like they need.
All right, brother. Appreciate the call. I didn't get to hear it, so I have no idea. All right. We got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. One more segment to go. Folks, don't go anywhere. No telling what a break in the last segment. But I do have an open line for you. We'll be right back.
Ready or not, Moon?
Maddie, life goes on. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Phones were ringing off the hook, and people don't understand Brandon has another job to do. Brandon's not working in here like that. So if you want to get back on, it's no problem, folks. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. I do want to mention my good friends at Stein, everything for your home and yard. And Brandon, they've been doing Black Friday sale for almost a week now. And best thing to do is go to steinhome.com to find out if they have everything you need, and they probably do. And then go to the store and enjoy the great savings that you can get. You can also enter to win during our appliance giveaway. They have an appliance sale going on right now. They got a Big Easy turkey fry for $79.99, Brandon. I know you don't know nothing about that. They got a convection cooker on sale, They got a heater on sale. Guess what? They got flooring on sale. I know people are still trying to rebuild. It is a great time to go to Stein. Special financing when you use your Stein credit cards available. If you're a hunter, they got stuff to gear up for you. But the Black Friday deals are going on now. You don't have to wait another day, another second. Go by Stein and check out the professionals at Stein who do everything to get you served and serve you well. Shop home improvement, tools, paint, electrical, plumbing, housewares, flooring, outdoor living, shop appliances. You bet they're loaded up. Building supplies, drive-through building yard. I mean, what else do you want? Stein has it all. Everything for your home and yard. So why go anywhere else when you can go to one of these Louisiana companies that hire people right here in the great state of Louisiana? Go to Stein. I have nothing against the other companies, but I'm all about Stein. All righty, 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Let's go to Don in West Monroe. Don, how you doing? Don, how you doing?
Hey, how are you, man?
Doing fine, sir.
I have a question. I called and just asked Brandon, and I hear you reference Timmy Teeple all the time. Outside of, and I call myself keeping up at least halfway with Louisiana politics. I have no idea who Timmy Teeple is.
He was Bobby Jindal's right-hand man, helped run his campaigns. He runs other campaigns. He ran Neil Reiser. Neil Reiser, and I say was, I wish he was still a good friend of mine, but if he hadn't, I understand why. And I asked Neil not to get him. Timmy Teeple is a scorched earth policy. He will burn everybody's down. He'll run the candidate he's doing that running. He'll run the people. He doesn't care. And Teeple was a problem for the state. Teeple was a problem for Jindal. And now he's a problem for Scott Angel. That's who he is. Matter of fact, they used to call him and laugh at him down there. They used to call him the little governor. They literally did that. They used to act like he was the co-governor with Jindal. And so, anyway, he's trying to ruin somebody else's life. This Higgins fella didn't say anything bad about Scott Angel yet, and boy, they just ripping him like a yard dog. Well, that's Timmy Teeple.
Yeah, so he's basically worse than Darden.
Well, Teeple hadn't run for office. He just helps people get elected. But, yeah, Angel and Darden are the ones that for some reason, they hate Republicans.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm just making a statement that every time this guy runs a candidate, he tries to ruin the person that's running against his candidate and ends up not only ruining that candidate, a lot of times he ruins the candidate he's trying to help. I've seen it happen.
Okay, well, he's well, I can't use that word on air, but it's a stir. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, Timmy Teeple, man, anybody watching politics knows that he's been right there with Bobby Jindal. He was a big part of Jindal. The failure of Jindal, he was a big part of that. One man's opinion, but he really was. So, anyway, Don, I appreciate it. You can look him up. He's, once again, he's at his old hateful self, trying to ruin somebody's life, and usually he takes down the candidate that he's trying to help. How about that for an expert? And he's done it for a long time, but he was Jindal's right-hand guy. I mean, say what you want to. That's who he was. All right, by the way, Susan Steinborg, Steinborg. Steinborg is the winner of the Cane River Pecans. So I just wanted to make sure that that people knew the winner of the Cane River Pecans, and she's out of Shreveport, Louisiana. So she is the winner, another winner. And by the way, the comments from people that are winning these pecans from Cane River Pecans is incredible once they get these in their mouth. It is good. Yeah, there are certain people who really don't need to stay in the state. They need to go work somewhere else. They really do, and he's one of them. I don't know why he doesn't move on. I mean, he was the guy that everything Jindal did through those years, Teeple made sure he did them politically. When somebody got in the way, he went after them. It's who Timmy is. And he's not going to change. He's going to keep blasting people away and ruining people's lives. Higgins comes along and runs, you know, you got the great Scott Angel. They shouldn't have to run all this negative and be ugly. Just some Scott Angel. Ooh, Scott Angel. We got to vote for Scott Angel. You know, that's what he's always been down there. Just vote for Scott Angel. Well, vote for him. If you like Scott Angel, vote for him. You get the same mess we've been getting. I'm saying people ought to vote for who they want to vote for, but why do you have to ruin somebody's life? Why do you have to crush somebody so bad? That's all I'm saying. Why? If you're such a great elected official and everybody loves you, you know, you gave the greatest speech in the world at the Cajun Dome. Now, that's the only thing they got to fall back on. What is he running on? What is he running for? Well, he's trying to help the oil and gas industry. Well, Brandon, I'm not saying you to comment on it, but he, if you look at it, I mean, when he went to Washington, and Brandon, I know you got a short version. When he went to Washington, he had to sit there and really fight for us. And he was the man. You know, all them jokes with the Boudreaux and the Thibodeaux and the Scalefields in the office, all that didn't come back to help him. He had to know something then. What you got? How long was this?
Oh, play it for a couple minutes.
Okay,
we'll fast forward a little bit through the meeting.
Yeah, here's him on at a committee.
Kind of job the oil companies were doing. They were absolutely irresponsible, and their irresponsibility is something that goes to their safety record. Secretary Angel on page 225 of the Independent Commission report said that from 2004 to 2009, fatalities in the offshore oil and gas industry were more than 4 times higher per person hours worked in the United States waters than in European waters, even though they were the same companies. So given that it is 4 times more deadly to work offshore in U.S. waters, and that the Commission found that the safety problems were systemic, and that not a single new safety measure has been enacted into law since the BP disaster, don't you think that we need to ensure that these rigs are operating safely in order to protect the lives of workers on these rigs and the livelihoods of all Gulf residents, so that we increase the level of safety up to international standards rather than having the lowest in the industrialized world? Don't you think the safety recommendations of the BP Commission should be implemented?
I'm not familiar with all those safety recommendations, Mr. Ranking Member.
You haven't analyzed the safety recommendations yet?
I have not, sir. I would say that.
Could you? I think, given your job, don't you think you should have looked at those safety recommendations?
Actually, I have not analyzed all of those recommendations, sir.
Could you analyze them and give a set of responses to the safety recommendations back to the committee?
Sir, I have not analyzed all of those recommendations. I would tell you that in my comments, I indicated that it should not be business as usual, and we support it not being business as usual. Certainly understand that and get that.
Does that include implementing the safety recommendations of the BP Commission?
I am not aware of all those safety recommendations of the BP Commission.
Are you aware of any of the safety recommendations of the BP Commission?
I'm aware of some of the safety recommendations, yes, sir.
Are there any of those safety recommendations that you recommend be implemented?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us what those are?
I would just simply say that generally, I believe that,
he would not answer. What's the fight?
Safety measures of dual blowout preventers and those kind of things are very, very important. I certainly understand containment issues being very, very important. But I would say again that having the new regulations that have been promulgated, we are now at a point where the government, the industry has demonstrated to the government the ability.
Even though you're not familiar with the safety recommendations of the BP Commission, you're ready to say that it's safe and people should go out there. Is that what you're?
No, that's not what I said, sir. I said that it is my understanding that the Bureau of Ocean Energy has promulgated new rules and regulations, and the industry has demonstrated the ability to comply with those, and now is the time to begin issuing permits in as much as...
All right. It's just stunning. The boy gave a great speech. It's embarrassing. That's total embarrassment. I mean, 100% embarrassment. Matter of fact, I'll tell you how embarrassing it is. Maddie's sitting in here, and she was laughing. I'll leave it at that. We'll take a break. 22 hours is all we ask. See you at Simmons Sporting Goods tomorrow.